So hey, what's up guys, it's Ben. Today I'm coming with another video. This time it's going to be a new series that I'm starting called Upon Second Viewing. So this series is going to be movies that I've only seen once that I'm now going to talk about and give my thoughts on it now that I've seen it a second time. A lot of the movies that are going to show up are movies that were in my video last week where I talked about movies that could be my favorites if I'd seen them more than once. And so it's not going to be exclusively that. Like, each video is going to be one movie. And it's not going to be exclusively the movies on that list, but a lot of them will probably pop up. And as it is this time, because this movie that I'm going to be talking about now is Gone Girl. And I thought originally when I first seen the movie that this movie was really well done. It had great performances, great cinematography, and really made you feel what it wanted you to feel. And I do have to concur with my former self. It was such a beautifully shot movie. It also there were points where the sound and the score were fantastic and really pushed along the narrative. I thought it really fit well with the movie. And the thing, though, is that the best part about this movie is the performances of Ben Affleck, but more so Rosamund Pike. Rosamund Pike delivered a great performance, and I'm going to say right now, spoilers, because I'm going to talk a little bit about spoilers, but Rosamund Pike's character, Amy Dunn, frames Ben Affleck, her husband, Nick Dunn, for her murder. And as you learn throughout the movie, she's kind of framed people for stuff multiple times. There's at least one instance, that was the one thing that they brought up early on in the movie, was that there were two stalkers of hers. One of them was Desi Collins, played by Neil Patrick Harris, who almost committed suicide over her. And then some other guy that she accused of rape that didn't actually rape her. This movie does a really good job of showing the manipulativeness of her and how she's easily able to kind of phase in and out of characters that she's created in order to get the life that she wants and for things to go the way that she wants them to. You know, like there's one point where she's kind of a southern woman who's hanging out with some people that are a little bit not as economically advantaged. And those people actually eventually turn on her and steal her money. And that's one of the reasons that she goes to Desi Collins, Neil Patrick Harris's character, for help, because now she's out of money and she needs help, and she knows that he'll help her. And so he does, and then she stabs him in the back. Well, stabs him in the front. She stabs him with box cutters. Metaphorically, she stabs him in the back, but she stabs him in the neck with box cutters and kills him, and then frames him for the murder. Says that it's him instead of Nick Dunn, who she'd originally framed, because she realized that it's not exactly swinging in her way, right? I'm not exactly sure all the time what's real, because Amy tells her story and she's got this journal, but she admits that some of it's fake, but then some of it's real. And I think one of the best parts about the movie that it really spoke to me on was that Amy claims in her journal that the police eventually find that Nick had pushed her and that he was starting to become abusive. Now, I don't think that actually happened, but this comes back around full circle, because at the end of the movie, when they're back together, Nick is basically trapped in this marriage. He can't leave, because one of the reasons he can't leave is because he cheated on her, and that comes out. And that's one of the things that puts pressure on Nick throughout this movie, is that he had cheated on his wife. And so that put a bunch of pressure on him. He's able to fight out of that and convince the people that, hey, I screwed up, I'm a bad husband, but I love my wife. And so this scene that I'm talking about at the end of the movie, where she comes back to him after she kills Neil Patrick Harris's character, where like he feels absolutely trapped in this marriage, and so he does the thing that she said he did towards the beginning of in the middle of the movie, like somewhere between the beginning and the middle. In that scene in her journal, she claims that he just pushed her, but in this scene, he takes her head and slams it into the wall. Another thing that I thought was notable was their use of score. There was a nice scene where she's walking up the stairs, and it's got this very interesting music that seems kind of like, it's very quiet, but it's kind of serene a little bit. But I think it really adds to it, because that's how she feels. She feels great. Because now everybody's paying attention to her like she wants. And she can manipulate him, and there's nothing he can do. Because he got exposed, and he almost got convicted of murder. Like, not convicted, but he had been accused of murder, and he probably was kind of close to getting convicted. He feels trapped. But she feels exactly like where she wants to be, and I think that choice of music was fantastic for that. Her being able to, Rosamund Pike being able to flip from character to character, because she's different than when she's with Nick than she is with those people that she lived with when she had ran away and was hiding. And it's also different than when she's with Neil Patrick Harris, and then different when she's talking to the media after she gets back to Nick. And it really matches well. Like, it's great. And I do have to tell you that I really like this movie. Lastly, the last, I think, major point I'm going to touch on is the cinematography and the color grading. I thought the cinematography was beautiful, and it had a lot of really great shots and set pieces, and it really played to their strengths. And like what they wanted you to feel, they really set it up with those shots. And then the color grading assisted that, because there were scenes with Nick where he felt like kind of cold and in a bad situation, and it was a very gray color grading, and that was a really good choice. The movie is very green, honestly. There's a lot of green, and it also kind of gray. Green and gray, those are big colors, and just such an excellent choice. And so this movie is fantastic. I really liked it. I pretty much thought the same thing. I don't know if it'll be one of my favorite movies of all time, because it just is kind of a hard movie to watch, and it makes you feel really helpless. But I still stand by that it's a fantastic movie, and it could be on my favorites list of all time at some point. Maybe next year. We'll see. But that's going to be it. Please follow me on Letterboxd. Please follow me on Instagram. Please like, comment what you thought of this video, and subscribe. That's it. See you guys later.